Billionaire saw Waitress stay calm at gunpoint. What happened next stunned the world. The Friday night crowd filled Davenport's steakhouse, a place known for its crystal chandeliers and velvet booths. Among the well-dressed clientele sat Ethan Cross, a reclusive billionaire with a reputation for icy detachment. People whispered about his money, his power, his empire, but not about his humanity. That night, Ethan came in quietly, sitting alone with a glass of red wine. He had no idea his entire world was about to shift at the far end of the restaurant. Clara, a young waitress in a faded uniform, balanced a tray of orders. She wasn't extraordinary at first, glance ponytail, tired eyes, steady hands. But when the front doors slammed open, everything changed. A masked man stormed in, waving a pistol. Screams echoed. Diners ducked beneath tables. Glass shattered. The man's voice cracked as he barked for wallets and jewelry. Ethan's guards reached for their concealed weapons, but Ethan froze, realizing they couldn't act without risking dozens of lives. That's when Clara stepped forward. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She raised her hands slowly, placing herself between the gunman and a group of children huddled in a corner. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. "Sir, look at me. Just me. You don't need to hurt anyone. Take a breath." Her steady tone was unnerving, wasn't fear, but control. The gunman's hand trembled, his eyes darting. Clara edged closer, never breaking eye contact. She spoke of her own hardships, nights of hunger, debts, struggles. She spoke like she knew his pain, like she wasn't facing a loaded weapon inches from her chest. The billionaire watched, transfixed. Finally, the man's grip faltered. His gun lowered just enough for Ethan's bodyguards to move. In seconds, the gunman was disarmed and pinned to the ground. But what stunned the world wasn't the capture. It was what happened next. When the police arrived, Clara asked them not to drag the man away like an animal. "He needs help," she whispered, "not just punishment." Cameras caught those words, and within hours, the footage went viral. Ethan Cross, the man who built an empire on ruthless decisions, couldn't shake what he saw. A billionaire with everything had been powerless, while a waitress with nothing had saved lives through courage and compassion. The next morning, Clara woke to a frenzy of news vans outside her apartment. But the biggest surprise was Ethan himself. He appeared at her door, not with cameras, not with headlines, just with sincerity. "I thought I knew strength," he told her, "but last night, you redefined it for me." What followed shocked the world even more. Ethan announced a multi-million-dollar foundation, built in Clara's name, dedicated to helping people in crisis, not with money alone, but with counseling, second chances, and hope. And Clara, the quiet waitress who stayed calm at gunpoint, became a global symbol of courage that no amount of wealth could buy. The night was alive with the hum of clinking glasses and soft piano music inside Davenport's steakhouse, the kind of place where power brokers whispered over steaks worth more than a week's wages. At table 7, under the glow of a crystal chandelier, sat Ethan Cross, billionaire industrialist, known for being as cold as the steel his companies produced. His fortune was measured in billions, his reputation in headlines, yet he always dined alone. His sharp suits and sharper eyes keeping everyone at a distance. He was halfway. Through his glass of Bordeaux, when the doors banged open, a masked man burst inside, his pistol raised high. "Everybody down," he shouted. The restaurant froze. Forks clattered against plates. Patrons ducked under tables. A woman screamed. Ethan's two bodyguards reached instinctively for their weapons, but Ethan snapped his hand up. "Not yet," he hissed. "Too many civilians, too much risk." Then he noticed her. Clara, the young waitress in a simple black apron, balancing a tray just seconds earlier. She could have dropped everything and hidden behind the bar. She could have cried like the rest. Instead, she stepped forward toward the gun. "Sir," her voice was soft, steady. You don't need to do this. The gunman's hands shook. His eyes darted around the room, desperate. Shut up. Just shut up. Clara raised her hands slowly, palms open. I get it. You're scared. But pointing that gun at people, it's not going to fix what's broken. Look at me. Just me. Clara, don't. The manager hissed from behind a table, but she ignored him. She took a small step closer, her eyes never leaving the man's. Ethan leaned forward in disbelief. The billionaire who had closed billion-dollar deals across the world suddenly felt powerless, useless. Yet here was a waitress, unarmed, fearless, holding the room together with nothing but her voice. The man's breathing quickened. You don't know what I've been through. Yes, I do, Clara said gently. I've been through it too. Nights without food. Bills I couldn't pay. People telling me I wasn't worth a thing. But pointing a gun doesn't erase the pain, it just spreads it. Her words cut through the air. The entire restaurant, trembling and silent, seemed to hang on them. The gunman blinked. His grip faltered. For a split second, the barrel dipped. That was all Ethan's men needed. In a blur of motion, they tackled the man to the ground. The pistol skidded across the floor. Shouts turned to gasps of relief as cuffs clicked shut. But it wasn't the capture that made headlines. It was what happened after. The police stormed in, dragging the man upright. Cameras from nearby patrons caught Clara stepping forward once more. She didn't spit on him. She didn't curse. She touched the officer's arm and said quietly, "Please don't just throw him away. He needs help. Real help." That clip went viral overnight. By morning, the name Clara Winters was on every news channel. Talk shows played her calm voice on repeat. Hashtags trended worldwide. She wasn't called a waitress anymore. She was the woman who stayed calm at gunpoint. And for Ethan Cross, something broke open inside him. He showed up at her modest apartment the next day, standing awkwardly outside her door in a tailored suit that didn't belong in her rundown hallway. When she opened the door, her first words were, "You're that guy from table 7. I am," he said simply, "and I owe you more than a thank you." She frowned. "You don't owe me anything. I just did what felt right." "That's exactly why the world needs you," Ethan replied. Weeks later, the world learned what he meant. At a press conference streamed globally, Ethan announced the creation of the Clara Foundation, a multi-million-dollar initiative to provide counseling, support, and second chances for those on the edge of desperation. Standing beside him on the stage, Clara looked stunned, humbled. Reporters clamored for quotes, but she just said one thing: "I'm not a hero. I just believed a man with a gun was still a man worth saving." The world never forgot her words, and Ethan Cross, the billionaire, who had once been a symbol of ruthless capitalism, was transformed, all because one waitress taught him that courage wasn't about power or money. It was about humanity.